Okay, now hold up, bear with me. Now you can make good money leasing as a lease operator with Prime Inc. However, you actually have a very short window of opportunity to do so if you're trying to make some decently sized checks. So when it comes to leasing as a whole, you know, for the 3 years, it still doesn't sound like it's worth it. But if you're smart with your money and you're willing to plan your entry, you actually can. Now, like I said in my last video, or my last video, I'm not advocating to lease as a first option. It's just many people who don't understand how to manage money, they're not able to operate within the tight margins, so they end up suffering more than somebody else. Like, I didn't suffer because I understood having a savings and whatnot. But I also learned when freight pay is the highest depending on the division you're in. Now, this is something I'm going to touch on in a later video, but depending on whether or not you're with Prime, CRST, US Express, or completely self-dispatching, if you're in refrigerated, flatbed, dry van, depending on what time of year it is, when you can make the most money, so stay on the lookout for that. But this time we're going to talk about when you make the most money in Prime's refrigerated division. Let's do it. All right, so just like I said a couple seconds ago, depending on what division you're in, regardless of whether you're with a company, leased onto a company, or self-dispatched, this could even impact company drivers. I'll cover that in a second. Depending on what division you're in and what time of year, there are times where they are the most profitable. So I'm just gonna cut to the chase. With Prime in the refrigerated division, leasing or company, you'll make the most money in Q3 and Q4. Now, this is actually evidenced by a report from DAT. I'm gonna look for it and put it up in the editing process. But during refrigerated time, during times where you make the most money in refrigerated, you actually see Q3 and Q4 being the most profitable because that's when harvest season is at its peak. Now, you do have crops, produce, and meat that are available throughout the year depending on the region, but it's the heaviest in the 3rd and 4th quarter of every year. Now, of course, how does this impact company drivers? You actually find you get the most miles and less downtime in between loads. Now, Prime, of course, does keep you moving quite a bit, but it's even more intense, especially if you're running teams. So if you're gonna work in refrigerated, Q3 and Q4,